Yo, what's up, guys? Hope you are doing well today. We're just gonna do a real quick recap of what happened this week. Let's just get into it right now. So going into the week, I marked out the all-time highs that could have been a possible target this week, and we did end up taking it out. But going into Monday specifically, right here we had this 4-hour SIBI right going into the day, and at 6 a.m. before the market opened, actually, did it close over? Yeah, literally like right before market opened at 7 a.m. We closed over this, right? So expected for price to possibly come down into it that day for continuation higher, but it never did. But as you can see right here, it did do it the next day. We did continue into it overnight and into Tuesday morning and Tuesday AM session for a continuation higher. And also we had this 1 hour order block right here, 1 hour order block that price tapped into on Tuesday in the early AM session for a continuation higher as well. So both of these support levels were good support for price to push higher. And this was the low of the week. Usually Mondays and Tuesdays create the low of the week, or lower the high of the week. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever instance you're in, which one's more obvious based on the PDRAs and what's the high time frame order flow. And what do you think is going to happen for the rest of the week is what I created my bias around this being the low of the week based on what it was supporting, what price was doing based on these support levels on the higher time frame, right, on this 4 hour time frame. So we knew that price would push higher the next day after retracing back down into this 4 hour inverse value gap and this 1 hour order block. So we pushed higher, right? And then coming Wednesday, we had FOMC. We just pumped straight through all-time highs. Not really much we can do there. FOMC is just a gamble for me, so I don't really trade FOMC like that. It just goes up or down either way. So we pushed higher, pushed straight through the all-time highs, and then we left this huge volume balance, right? This huge liquidity void. And going into Thursday, I don't think I even remember what I did Thursday. As you can see right here, we had this liquidity sweep. What time is this? Yeah. So market opened. It did a little Judas swing, and then dropped for the rest of the day, right? So we took out these buy stops, these high time frame buy stops, and then we dropped down, and then we retraced into this 1 hour SIBI for a continuation lower, right? And then when Friday came, I set up the weekly TGIF, what do you even call it? Measurements, right? And so you want to do the low of the wick to the high of the wick on the weekly time frame, on the weekly candles. You want to do the 20 to 30%. You want to mark it out. I already have it marked out, so we'll look at it real quick. And I marked out these levels. This is the 20% right here. This is the 30%, as well as this huge liquidity void that price would most likely drop into that day. So I was expecting a full reversal on Friday, which happened, but it was very slow. It was mostly down and then up a little bit down. But overall, we did reverse on Friday, targeting those areas. Going on to NQ, we have this LRLR, low resistance liquidity runs. We have all these failure swings. So this swing right here, this failure swing, fails to swing this high, and then this fails to swing this high, etc., right? So mainly these highs right here. So we have all these buy stops that were accumulating right here, right? 1, 2, 3 throughout the week, Mondays and Tuesday, and then Wednesday FOMC just took out all of it, right? That's what usually happens with LLR. It just takes it out in one swift move. So on NASDAQ, we have, let me look at this real quick. Yeah, so Monday, we come up and then tap into this 4-hour SIBI, right, and then drop, right? And this leads us to this 4-hour order block, right, for Tuesday. and then we push higher from it. And then when Wednesday comes, we take out all this low resistance liquidity right here built up, all these buy stops from the past few days, and we push up, take out all of them. And then Thursday comes, and then we take out these all-time highs and start to see a good reaction off of it, right? And then, so now, what I'm thinking when we hit this all-time high, I'm thinking that we're going to retrace. Either have a Thursday reversal. This is at 6 a.m. Either have a Thursday reversal, which is what we had. Not a significant one, but we did have somewhat of a Thursday reversal right here. Targeting this huge liquidity void from yesterday from the FOMC, right? And then going into Friday, we marked out these levels again. Didn't really do much. I mean, we just chopped up and down on Friday. But yeah. Now going on Dow Jones. We have the prior week high, and it was the all-time high as well. But we have the low of the week created right here on Monday this time, right? So, as you can see, we failed to swing this low right here from last Friday. So we failed to swing that low, failed to swing it again. So this is giving us pretty bullish price action right here. So we keep on failing to swing these lows. So yeah. So on Monday, we create the low of the week. Tuesday, we just hit this order block. We hit this order block, have a good reaction off of it, right? And pass through all these support levels, all these high time frame support levels. Push through this order block, closes over it. So we're disrespecting these areas of support, resistance. My fault. These areas of resistance we are completely ignoring, right? And so that's giving us pretty bullish price action. So, or order flow. I meant we're expecting higher prices. So right here on Tuesday we have this huge gap that's created, this huge BISI. So mark this out, and then on Tuesday as well, we hit this huge 4-hour SIBI, right? And we kind of just chop around into it in the later PM session on Tuesday, as well as the overnight through Wednesday morning into the New York AM session, right? And so the New York AM session was pretty choppy because of FOMC coming up in the PM session. So we did tap into this 4-hour SIBI. I would consider that IOFED. And if you don't know what IOFED is, it's just barely tapping into a fair value gap. It can be, I don't know if it can be a confluence, like any confluence, like breaker blocks, order blocks, mitigation blocks. I have no clue about that. You're going to have to look more in depth than that. But I usually just use them for my fair value gaps, right? So right here, IOFED barely tapped into it and started to see a very good reaction off of it. So it's not just any random fair value gap that gets tapped barely. You have to see a good price, a good reaction off of it, right? And that's what we saw. So barely tapped into it and then started to have a very good reaction off of it for the next few hours. So FOMC candle right here took out prior week's highs, all-time highs. So now we're at all-time highs again. And then left this huge liquidity void that was later retraced back into on Friday, as well as these 20 to 30% levels for the weekly. For thank God it's Friday. So now let's go on DXY. I don't know what's like that. Okay. Yeah. So right here, Monday we began to push higher, as well as Tuesday we started having some of it a retracement. And it's kind of like liquidity, right? If there's buy side liquidity up here, same thing with the order blocks. We're inducing traders, right? We're accumulating, we're engineering liquidity, right? Not inducing, we're engineering liquidity, right? So we haven't taken out this order block yet. We haven't filled it. So we're engineering liquidity by like kind of faking it out and then retracing back up into it. We haven't hit it yet, so we're engineering liquidity all the way back up into it, waiting for Wednesday, and then having a huge drop down, right? And then this will be the low of the week right here, taking out the sell side liquidity from Monday. And so at this point, I knew this was going to be a Wednesday reversal. So on the 4-hour, you can see that we have this huge 4-hour SIBI that gets inversed and closed over right here for a push higher on Friday, which led for the indices to push lower on Friday. So let's go to the hourly again. I set up this standard deviations right here from this low to this high from the bodies. And as you can see, once we hit this level on Wednesday, this -2 to -2.5, which is the reversal or the retracement zone, we do end up retracing back down into this level right here, right? We do end up retracing back down into this 1 hour BISI for a continuation higher throughout the PM session, or throughout the overnight session. We did have a huge move. In the overnight session on Thursday night. And then Friday came, we expected a continuation pushing higher. So, yeah. So that was my thought process throughout the week. That was a weekly breakdown of what happened this week. Hopefully we're going to have some good trading days this week coming up. It has been pretty bad price action lately. It's been just choppy, right? So hopefully we can see something happen on the indices. We have decent news, I think. Let me pull it up real quick. I mean, yeah, it's not that bad. Other than Friday, I'll probably trade. I'll probably trade Wednesday AM session. It might be a little choppy, but not that bad. Hopefully we can make some plays this week on my new funded account, and I will update y'all with that and post it on my Instagram and my YouTube. We'll do some trade breakdowns, and yeah, I hope y'all have a great week. Peace.